How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So this is the final part of my reaction to the Collected Miscellany series from Genshin Impact, and I've learned so much about every character by watching these. If you want to check out the first two parts of my reaction to this series, or if you want to hang out with us live sometime, link is down in the description below. If you could do me a huge favor, hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the video.
Lesser Lord Kusanali is a god unlike any other. As the god of wisdom, she has profound insight into the nature of all things, yet she has never had the opportunity to learn by doing. One may ask, how can a god possess true wisdom in the absence of lived experience?
She is so cute!
All answers can be found in dreams, and she welcomes fellow truth seekers to dream along with her.
Nahida,
for you for ages.
You cutie patootie. I'm on the way.
Of confinement, Lesser Lord Kusanali
Confinement?
has grown intensely curious about the world outside. Just through observing from afar, Nahida has learned enough to adapt to any situation.
Confinement? Why is she locked away? No.
Can perform up to 4 strikes that deal dendro damage.
Oh my god!
Her charged attack consumes a set amount of stamina to deal AoE dendro damage in front of her after a short casting time. Tap Nahida's elemental skill to cast dendral bonds that deal AoE dendro damage. Of the enemy's hit, a certain number will be marked with the Seed of Skanda.
Oh, okay. Seed of Skanda.
Hold her
what does that do?
Elemental skill to enter aiming mode and target enemies within a certain range.
What?
Nahida benefits from increased resistance to interruption.
She does her hands like this, like a little picture
aiming
frame.
Mode lasts for a limited duration, and only a limited number of enemies can be selected as targets. Release the skill button to deal dendro damage to all selected enemies.
Oh, that's cool. So you like tag them.
Enemies marked with a Seed of Skanda and in range of each other will form a connection. When an enemy marked with a Seed of Skanda triggers an elemental reaction or takes damage from dendro cores, Nahida unleashes Tri-Karma Purification, dealing dendro damage to them and all connected enemies based on Nahida's attack and elemental mastery. Tri-Karma Purification. So
attacking EM is important for her.
Interval.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
After
that's interesting.
The talent Awakening Elucidated, the crit rate and damage of Tri-Karma Purification will be increased based on the amount of Nahida's elemental mastery that exceeds a given value. Tri-Karma Purification's crit rate and damage can only be increased in this manner up to a certain amount.
Look at her go.
Nahida is always watching, listening, learning about the world around her. Nahida's elemental skill allows her to interact with certain harvestable items when they are in range. In some scenarios, it may also have other uses.
So you can harvest things from range? Ooh!
When
I would use that a lot.
Her elemental burst, she materializes the Court of Dreams and brings forth the Shrine of Maya. The shrine provides different effects depending on the elemental types of characters in the party, as follows.
What? She brings out like a whole building.
As a pyro character, the damage dealt by Tri-Karma Purification will be increased when Nahida is within the Shrine of Maya's AoE.
Oh, okay.
If the party contains an electro character, the interval between each Tri-Karma Purification is decreased when Nahida is within the Shrine of Maya's AoE. If the party contains a hydro character, the Shrine of Maya's duration will be extended. When the Shrine of Maya is created, if the party contains at least 2 characters of the aforementioned elemental types, their corresponding effects will receive a further boost.
Ooh,
so long as
okay.
the active party member remains within the shrine, the effects described above can be triggered even if Nahida is not on the field.
Wow, all right. Nahida's OP.
Nahida freely shares her knowledge with anyone who asks, but how much of it they can comprehend depends on their own aptitude. After unlocking the talent Compassion Illuminated, when Nahida casts her elemental burst, the elemental mastery of the active character within the Shrine of Maya will be increased based on the elemental mastery of whichever party members is highest. Elemental mastery can only be increased up to a certain amount in this manner.
Okay. So EM is really important for Nahida,
excels both at
even on other party members.
And answering them. Combat is no different. The enemy is the conundrum, and her strategy is the solution.
She's so freaking cute, man.
Nahida first targets a group of enemies with her elemental skill, using Seeds of Skanda to connect them to each other.
Yeah,
Next,
tag and then
she
swap.
coordinates with her teammates to trigger elemental reactions, repeatedly unleashing Tri-Karma purifications as her main mode of attack. She and
Dude!
her team branch out across the battlefield, taking out the weeds as they go.
She would be so much fun to play
When
with.
energy is full, Nahida unleashes her elemental burst, creating the Shrine of Maya to increase all active characters' elemental mastery and provide additional effects depending on the elemental composition of her party. Faced with Nahida's increased dendro damage and the strengthened team around her, all who enter the Temple of Wisdom seeking conflict will soon be reunited with their home turf.
Bro, her support is crazy.
Humans often place gods on a pedestal, awestruck by their unfathomable power. Very few ever come to the realization that gods are not the rulers of Teyvat, but merely another form of living being in this world. A god who lacks strength may have little to no advantage, even over mere mortals.
So she's an archon and a god. I cannot wait to. Why is she confined though?
Words to say about a god such as this.
How can you say anything bad about Nahida?
Perhaps the god of Dendro will continue to propagate herself for as long as Irminsul continues to exist. As for the significance of Irminsul to the whole of Teyvat, I will leave that for those who are not under this world's control to discover for themselves.
We're gonna be discovering Nahida. She's so freaking cute. I cannot wait. Cannot wait to meet Nahida. But why is she confined? Okay, don't like that. Number one, no, we're gonna rescue Nahida. I don't care what I gotta do. I don't care what I gotta do to rescue Nahida. And in combat, she's a huge support. Like OP support. What? That is insane. Her support's crazy.
Dreaming
Layla.
may be an entirely new concept to the majority in Sumeru, but one person's already managed to become famous for it. Recently, the strange tales of the sleepwalking eccentric have been circulating in the academia. Rarely used telescopes quietly moving during the night. Entire theses finished between dusk and dawn, and a girl seen in the city 1 minute spotted all the way over at Caravan Rebot the next. The only one who can't muster the strength to investigate it is Layla herself. Chronic sleep
Layla!
deprivation has taken its toll on her energy levels.
Why can't she sleep?
Can't sleep? Let's go for a walk then.
Sounds good. She have
Research
insomnia?
primarily focuses on theoretical astrology. After receiving her cryovision, she formed a star-crusted veil with ice and frost, providing a space for her companions to study, rest, and even fight undisturbed.
Okay, shield her.
Sometimes, while deep asleep, a friend that Layla never knew she had will secretly come to her aid.
What?
When
Who?
Layla crafts character talent materials, she has a chance to receive double the product, boosting the party's adventure readiness.
That's awesome.
Layla's normal attack can combo up to 3 strikes, dealing physical damage to enemies. Using her charged
she's 4-star,
attack,
right?
Layla consumes a certain amount of stamina and performs 2 swift slashes to her front, dealing physical damage. Casting
the
Layla's
music.
elemental skill creates a Curtain of Slumber and also deals AoE cryo damage. The Curtain of
So a
Slumber
shield.
absorbs damage based on Layla's max HP and absorbs cryo damage even more effectively.
But does she not
Layla also
move?
becomes affected by cryo
With the
for a short
shield?
time when the Curtain of Slumber is created.
She doesn't. Does she not
At
move?
regular intervals while the Curtain of Slumber is active, a Night Star is generated, which adheres to the curtain. Additionally, 2 Night Stars are generated when a
okay.
character protected by the curtain casts their elemental skill.
Let's see, she's
Night
just sitting there
Stars can only
sleeping.
be generated in this manner once per set time period, and a maximum of 4 Night Stars may exist at one time.
What do the Night Stars
After
do?
4 Night Stars have been accumulated, if there are enemies in range, the Night Stars convert to shooting stars that
Ooh.
automatically home in on enemies, dealing cryo damage on hit. No new Night Stars can be generated until all shooting stars have fired.
Okay,
When the
that's
Curtain of
cool.
Slumber expires or is destroyed, any Night Stars present disappear along with it. If they have already converted into shooting stars and started firing, they will remain until all of them have finished firing. After unlocking the talent like Nascent Light, while the Curtain of Slumber is present, gaining a Night Star triggers the Deep Sleep effect. Deep Sleep increases the shield strength of the character under the curtain's protection. It can be
okay.
stacked up to 4 times and is cleared when the Curtain of Slumber expires.
Shielder,
Any
not as
disturbance is too
good as
much after
Zhongli,
a
but
night of poor quality sleep. The only solution is to get rid of them completely. After unlocking the talent Sweet Slumber Undisturbed, the shooting stars fired by Layla's elemental skill deal increased damage based on Layla's max HP.
all right.
Shine for me.
So I guess HP is super important for her. Her outfit is so
Layla's
cute.
elemental burst unleashes a
She's really pretty.
soporific celestial dream sphere that continuously fires starlight slugs at enemies within range, dealing cryo damage.
Ooh,
When a
okay.
starlight slug hits an enemy, a night star is also generated on nearby curtains of slumber. Each curtain of slumber can gain only 1 night star in this manner per set time period.
All right, all
Layla
right.
knows the pain of sleep deprivation all too keenly and naturally wouldn't wish it on any of her companions. In battle, Layla uses her elemental skill to create a protective curtain of slumber for her teammates and starts accumulating night stars. A full quota of night stars will convert into shooting stars that target nearby enemies and deal cryo damage, supporting the battle effort.
Right.
When energy is full, Layla unleashes her elemental burst to create a celestial dream sphere, which continuously fires starlight slugs at enemies in range to deal cryo damage, while also increasing the production of night stars.
I feel like
helping
she's
her
actually a really
teammates
good
to
4-star.
comfortably slide their way to victory.
Like one of the better 4-stars.
Many people have 2 sides to their personality, but it's not often that the contrast between them is as stark as Layla's. She spends her waking hours crushed by stress over her schoolwork, yet when sleepwalking, her mind is sharp and lucid.
Get that
She
schoolwork
casts
done.
aside her unproductive feelings of self-doubt and gets much accomplished. But perhaps she should count her blessings. Finding a goal in life is difficult enough as it is, and having any chance at all to pursue it undisturbed is nigh on impossible. Enjoy life while things are still uncomplicated. Go and do the things you want to do, because once you reach a certain age, things can never go back to being as simple as they once were.
Layla, all right. I like that one. That one was really good. I think if you didn't have a shielder, but needed one, I think she's a good second option behind Zhongli. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Zhongli is probably just the OP shielder, but if you don't have Zhongli and you can luckily get Layla, I would definitely use her. I would definitely use her if you're needing a shielder. That was great. Why is she always tired though? Why is she always tired? I know it said because of all the stress and everything like that. But it just makes me wonder. I want to learn more about her. Ooh, I can't wait.
There once was a palace, and in that palace was a puppet, sound asleep. You know, I could just pretend that I don't remember what happened after that, and then
Look at that little
make up
kitty cat.
some boring story and get this over with. But boring clearly isn't my style, nor is it the Wanderer's way of doing things. You could say his story is simple and straightforward, or horrendously complex, and both would be right. It all depends on the storyteller.
Are you sure it has to be me?
Wanderer. He's the
Fine.
tormented one
Let's
that
get
we
this
saw in
over
the
with.
teaser and the demo.
Happen to run into this Wanderer. Don't let his menacing expression make you nervous. He's really not all that hard to get along with. You
I wanna
just
learn
need
so
to
much
keep
about
your
him.
Distance, that's all. Don't provoke him, and he won't kick up a storm.
So just
Simple,
leave him
isn't it?
alone, basically is what you're telling
He
me.
doesn't like to talk about it much, but the Wanderer has quite a lot of experience in forging weapons. So when the Wanderer ascends bows and catalysts, it doesn't cost him as much mora.
All
The
right.
Wanderer's normal attack can combo up to 3 wind blades, dealing animo damage. His charged attack consumes some stamina and creates a high-pressure wind blast in front of him after a short casting time, dealing AoE animo damage.
Did I see somewhere like he can like
The
float without
Wanderer's elemental
wings
skill
or something?
harnesses the power of the air
Yeah.
all around as he casts off the shackles of gravity, dealing AoE animo damage and rising into the air as he enters the wind-favored state.
Ooh.
The Wanderer is unable to use plunging attacks, and his normal and charged attacks are converted to Kugo Fushodan and Kugo Tofukai, which deal increased damage over a wider AoE.
That's
Using
really
Kugo
useful to be up in the
Tofukai
air
will
like
not
that.
consume Stamina. The Wanderer hovers in midair while in this state, continuously consuming Kugo Ryoku points to remain airborne.
So kind of like a stamina bar, but not.
Button is pressed. Instead of sprinting, the Wanderer consumes more Kugoryoku points to fly through the air more quickly. Holding sprint maintains a faster flying speed while consuming points at a faster rate. Pressing jump raises the Wanderer higher into the air at the cost of Kugoryoku points.
You never have to swim again.
So continuously. The wind
never have to swim again.
When all Kugoryoku points are used up.
What?
The wind-favored state
That's
allows the Wanderer
awesome.
to do battle from midair, as well as explore difficult terrain more easily.
Yeah.
Casting his elemental skill again while airborne brings the wind-favored state to an end. After unlocking the talent Jade Claimed Flower, if the Wanderer's elemental skill makes contact with Hydro, Pyro, Cryo, or Electro when cast, the wind-favored state provides different buffs depending on the element.
Okay.
Hydro increases the Wanderer's Kugoryoku point cap. Pyro increases the Wanderer's own attack. Cryo increases his crit rate.
So it just really depends on what you want to do, who to put in your party will affect them.
Energy when Kugo Fushodan and Kugo Tofukai deal damage to enemies.
That's cool because it makes you think about who you want in your party to do certain things.
And a maximum of 2 buffs can be gained at any one time.
Dude, I want to float in the air.
The force of wind cannot always be seen, but it can certainly be felt. After unlocking the talent Gales of a Reverie, when Kugo Fushodan or Kugo Tofukai hits an enemy, the Wanderer has a chance to gain the Descent effect. The next time the Wanderer uses his alternate sprint to fly at speed, the Descent effect is consumed instead of Kugoryoku points, and several wind arrows are fired, each dealing animo damage.
Wow. He's crazy.
Or Kugo Tofukai does not trigger the Descent effect, the chance of triggering the effect next time is increased.
Know your place.
Ooh. Whoa, what is going on?
Casting the Wanderer's elemental burst compresses the surrounding air to form an animo plenum that blasts all sources of frustration away, dealing multiple bouts of AoE animo damage. Casting his elemental burst while in the wind-favored state brings this state to an end. Though Wanderer is his name, aimlessness is not his game, and he does not hesitate to take decisive action in pursuit of his goals. The Wanderer's elemental skill is his preferred means of doing battle. Once in the
it'd be mine too.
Attacks from the air using his Kugo Fushodan and Kugo
Because you can't get hit while you're up there.
Increased animo damage with a wider AoE.
I guess.
By coordinating with his teammates, he can benefit from a range of enhancements, which make him even more powerful in battle.
Dude!
When energy is full, the Wanderer unleashes his elemental burst, dealing several rounds of AoE animo damage in one fell swoop, devastating all obstacles that stand in his way.
Bro, he's legit.
The world of Teyvat has its own rules. They aren't perfect, though, and in some cases they are as delicate and fragile as the human heart. That's why I've been tasked with the job I have now, a job which gives me certain special privileges. I'm someone who likes having the freedom to live their own life, but I don't mind this job. It gives me the chance to see this world and everything that lives in it from a lot of different perspectives. People can find ways to forget, but they can't undo what they've done, and there's no escaping the past. The Wanderer learned this the hard way.
I want to
But
learn
what
so much about him.
future? Which way will the wind blow?
From his demo and his
A lot of
teaser,
people
I
crave
just
the
wanted to
power
learn
predict
everything.
The future, but I doubt the Wanderer cares for that. With a past like his, he knows the only way is forward, whatever lies ahead, for better or for worse.
That's what I want to learn. I want to learn about his past. From his demo and his teaser, because they were intense. I want to learn about his past. He's insane. I want to pull for Wanderer. I want to be able to float in the air. I want to be able to fly around. I want Wanderer. Dude, that's legit. That's crazy. I love that. That was really good. Whoa.
In the academia's early years, researching ancient mechanisms meant deciphering numerous documents. So even though Faruzan is a Haravatat scholar, her mastery of runes led her to become one of the pioneer scholars in the field of ancient mechanics.
I think this is my first time seeing anything about her, right?
Over the course of a century, Faruzan's dedication to this field was buried beneath the sands of time, just like her unusual fate.
Like, I don't think she had a demo or a teaser.
Hang out with you, young
Did she? Hi! Your
Although
outfit's
she
super
may
cute.
look young, Faruzan is an experienced Haravatat scholar.
Is that a thought bubble
and mentor
above her
with
head?
a robust research background. Her control over the power of Animo grants many new potential uses to her ancient trinkets. Researching mechanisms and solving puzzles is a hands-on process, and one which has taken Faruzan all across Sumeru.
Dude, the music is so good.
Faruzan gains increased rewards when dispatched on a 20-hour expedition within Sumeru.
I haven't gotten to Sumeru yet, but I can't wait to get there and learn more.
Faruzan's normal attack can combo up to 4 consecutive shots, dealing physical damage.
Okay.
With a charged attack, Faruzan executes a more precise aimed shot that deals increased damage. While aiming, mighty winds accumulate on the arrowhead, and a fully charged arrow will deal animo damage.
All right, gotcha.
Casting Faruzan's elemental skill deploys a polyhedron device, dealing AoE animo damage and causing her to enter the Manifest Gale state.
Manifest Gale.
In this state, Faruzan's next fully charged shot will consume the Manifest Gale and turn into a Hurricane Arrow.
Hurricane Arrow? Ooh!
This arrow deals animo damage based on the damage of her fully charged normal attack, Parthian Shot. The Hurricane Arrow will apply a pressurized collapse effect to the enemy or character hit. This effect will be removed after a short delay, creating a vortex that deals AoE animo damage and pulls
That's
in
pretty cool.
nearby objects and enemies.
Wait, does she just
If the arrow
shoot
does not
somebody
hit
in
any enemy
co-op
or character, it
to
will
tag
create a
them?
pressurized collapse effect at its point of impact. The vortex damage is considered elemental skill damage.
I think she did.
Truth repeats its course.
Unleashing her
So you can use it in
elemental
that way?
Faruzan deploys a dazzling polyhedron that releases a whirlwind pulse and deals AoE animo damage. While the dazzling polyhedron persists, it will continuously move along a triangular path. Whenever it reaches a corner of that triangular path, it unleashes a whirlwind pulse.
Ooh, that's cool.
The whirlwind pulse will apply Prayerful Wind's benefit to all nearby party members, granting them an animo damage bonus. When the pulse
Ooh.
hits an enemy, it will apply Perfidious Wind's Bale to them, decreasing their animo resistance.
So
After
it'd be smart to have
unlocking the
another
talent
animo character
Impetuous
besides
Flow,
her
when
in your
Faruzan is
party.
in the Manifest Gale state created by her elemental skill, the charging time of her aimed shot is decreased, and she can apply the Perfidious Wind's Bale effect to enemies hit by the vortex created by pressurized collapse. As a veteran of academia, Faruzan never hesitates to impart her wisdom to the future generations. After unlocking the talent Lost Wisdom of the Seven Caverns, when characters affected by Prayerful Wind's benefit deal animo damage to enemies with a normal, charged, or plunging attack, or an elemental skill or burst, they gain the Hurricane Guard effect, increasing the damage dealt by a certain percentage of Faruzan's base attack.
Well, that's
Hurricane
cool.
Guard can be triggered only once within a set duration. and
So
the
she's a
effect
really,
is
really,
cleared
really good
after
animo
damage
support.
is dealt. Faruzan is unfazed by the fact that her field of research is now considered outdated. On the contrary, it has inspired new grit and determination. Faruzan
She's
starts
cute.
battle by casting her elemental skill and quickly firing a hurricane arrow to deal animo damage to the enemy. The arrow's pressurized collapse effect then pulls in nearby enemies, providing support to her teammates. When energy is full, Faruzan unleashes her elemental burst to deploy a dazzling polyhedron. This device moves over the battlefield, creating whirlwind pulses and decreasing enemies' animo resistance, which effectively increases the team's animo damage.
Yeah, you
Make
definitely
the
want
most
to
of
have
Faruzan's
another animo
carefully
character in your
researched
party with
dazzling
her.
polyhedron, and the rest of the battle will be a breeze. Time is
Dude,
a
she's
relative
legit.
concept and is perceived differently by
Great
different
animo
people.
support.
100 years is the longest life most people could imagine. Small wonder that they are fascinated by the idea of someone disappearing for this long, only to return looking not a day older than when they left. To Faruzan, those 100 years were physically exhausting and mentally taxing, yet she balks at the idea of seeking sympathy or being the topic of other people's conversations. Only convincing the academia's new enrollees to address her as Madam gives her experience some meaning. But if you
I'd
ask
call her
me,
Madam if she asked.
age isn't much of a qualification. After all, time never really stops flowing.
Very
And
true.
although ancient wisdom should be respected, how long would it really take to erase it all?
Faruzan, wow, really good animo support. Man, I want to learn more about her. I feel like that might be the first time I've seen something about her. I can't remember, but really good animo support. So you definitely would want to have an animo character in your party with her. That was really, really good. I mean, what can I say? What can I say? I would love to use her as a support. That would be great.
Scribe Alhaitham can be the easiest person in the academia to communicate with, or the most frustrating.
What's
He
up,
ignores the
Alhaitham?
irrelevant and filters out the fluff, focusing
He just looks
solely on the
awesome.
logical steps and appropriate process for the task ahead.
Look at that
Those more
outfit. I wish I
pragmatic
could wear
colleagues,
something like
this makes
that.
him a joy to work with, though not everyone shares their enthusiasm.
Let's get down to
Alhaitham,
business.
you just look insane,
Most
and I
scholars
love
would
it.
jump at the opportunity to use a vision to further their research, and I thought Alhaitham would be no exception. Yet to my surprise, he prefers to use his elemental powers not for research, but to deal with other issues that arise in life. Thinking a step ahead of everyone else is bound to reap benefits. When Alhaitham crafts weapon ascension materials, he has a chance to receive double the product, boosting the party's adventure readiness.
That is awesome.
Alhaitham's normal attack can combo up to 5 strikes with his sword, dealing physical damage.
Whoa.
Using his charged attack, Alhaitham consumes a certain amount of stamina and performs 2 swift slashes to his front, dealing physical damage.
Dude.
Tap Alhaitham's elemental skill to rush
He's
forward,
fast.
dealing dendro damage to nearby enemies when the rush ends, as well as creating a chisel-like mirror.
So he kind of is like a Dendro
Holding the
Kaching.
skill enters aiming mode to adjust the direction of the attack. When this skill is cast, Alhaitham generates 1 chisel-like mirror, plus 1 additional mirror if he possessed no mirrors at the time of casting. Up to 3 chisel-like mirrors can exist at one time.
Oof.
While he possesses chisel-like mirrors, Alhaitham's normal, charged, and plunging attacks will be converted to dendro damage that cannot be overridden. When one of these attacks hits an enemy, the chisel-light mirrors unleash a projection attack that deals AoE dendro damage based on the number of mirrors on the field. Chisel-light mirrors will disappear in turn over time, and will all disappear when Alhaitham leaves the field. After
Alhaitham.
unlocking the talent For Causal Correction, when Alhaitham's charged
DBS.
and plunging attacks hit enemies, they will generate 1 chisel-light mirror. This effect can only occur once in a specified period.
And I like those really fast characters.
Process of elimination.
Alhaitham's elemental burst creates a particular binding field that deals multiple instances of AoE dendro damage. If any
Okay.
chisel-light mirrors exist when this ability is used, they are all consumed to increase the number of damage instances dealt.
Ooh.
Shortly after this ability has finished, if no mirrors were consumed, then Alhaitham will generate 3 new mirrors. For every mirror that was consumed by this skill, Alhaitham will generate 1 less new mirror accordingly.
Okay, okay.
When
Interesting.
surrounded by mirrors, it takes a perceptive eye to distinguish reality from reflection. After unlocking
he
the
just looks
talent
crazy.
mysteries laid bare, each point of elemental mastery that Alhaitham possesses increases the damage dealt by his projection attacks and elemental bursts. Damage
So
can
you really
only be
wanna work on
increased
his
in this
EM?
way up to a certain limit. To Alhaitham, remaining rational under pressure is the key to solving difficult problems. Luckily for him, this is an ability that few of his foes possess.
Dude, he just looks crazy. I mean,
Alhaitham's
look at it.
combat
I wish I had that kind of
strategy is centered
confidence.
around the efficient use of his chisel-light mirrors. His elemental skill allows him to quickly traverse the battlefield, while dealing dendro damage to enemies
Whoa!
and generating chisel-light mirrors.
What?
Then Alhaitham can use these mirrors and their projection attacks to easily gain the upper hand. When energy is full, Alhaitham unleashes his elemental burst, creating the particular binding field and dealing several bouts of AoE dendro damage. If he possesses no Chiselite mirrors at this time, some are generated after he has used his burst, allowing him to follow up with more attacks. If he already has mirrors when he casts his burst, then he is able to deal more dendro damage and swiftly seize victory.
So EM and attack is probably the best things to go with for him. Dude, he's nuts.
But the people who lead those lives may be nothing alike at all. A sharp mind and a good attitude have benefited Alhaitham immensely in his pursuit of the good life. It is not my place to judge how other people live. If anything, the more I say, the more jealous I would sound. The truth is, I have nothing against a laid-back lifestyle. It reminds me of a simpler time. But unfortunately, not all creatures are capable of being rational and logical in everything they do. Alhaitham's approach only works in the context of his relatively simple existence.
What you doing there, bro?
Is completely fine by him.
We gotta meet Alhaitham. I can't wait to meet him and learn more about him. Dude, that one was nuts. Insanity. Dendro DPS, he reminds me of Kaching. Like, I have Kaching, he really reminds me of Kaching, just the way he moves and everything like that. Bro, Dendro Daddy, right there. Jeez.
Yaoyao is the youngest of Streetward Rambler's disciples. Liyue's Adepti are a strange group.
You're not wrong.
Setting foot anywhere near the city, and yet the instant they find a human
Very
whom
strange.
they take a liking to, they'll come flocking in, teaching Adeptus arts
You're
one
a
day,
cutie
and
patootie
lavishing
with a
them
little
gifts
bunny
the next.
rabbit.
One of these favored few is Yaoyao.
I just absolutely love and adore the child characters in this game. Clean, Nahida, Yaoyao. They're just so cute, and you just want to just protect them at all costs.
Making contact with the Adepti. In fact, they were thoroughly won over by the young child's inquisitive nature. One Adeptus in particular was especially delighted when she saw how Yaoyao used an Adeptus contraption, Uegwe, in conjunction with the power of her dendrovision. Even though the sound of bells follows Yaoyao wherever she goes, the wildlife is never disturbed by her presence. When Yaoyao is in the party, your characters will not startle crystal flies, lizards, and certain other animals when approaching them.
Okay, that's cool.
Yaoyao's normal attack can combo up to 4 strikes with her polearm, dealing physical damage.
Polearm user.
Using her charged attack, Yaoyao consumes a certain amount of stamina to lunge forward, dealing physical damage to enemies along the way.
It's kind of like very similar to other polearm users.
Skill summons the Adeptus contraption Uegwe throwing mode to assist Yaoyao in combat.
A little rabbit just hopping around.
Skill to enter aiming mode and control Yaoyao's throwing direction. Uegwe throwing mode throws out white jade radishes that will explode upon hitting characters or enemies, dealing dendro damage to enemies within a certain AoE.
Okay.
And healing characters within that same AoE based on Yaoyao's max HP.
Okay, so HP super. Ooh, so healer.
Or a character. It will remain where it landed and
that would be like constant healing.
A character or enemy. Or
if you throw her rabbit out.
Expires.
Okay.
Uegwe throwing mode will select the target for the white jade radish depending on the surrounding combat situation. If nearby characters have relatively high HP, it will target an enemy. If there are any nearby characters whose HP has dropped below a certain percentage, it will target the character with the lowest HP percentage. And if no enemies are nearby, it will target a character even if their HP is relatively high. A maximum of 2 instances of Uegwe throwing mode can exist at any one time. After unlocking the talent In Others' Shoes, when a white jade radish explodes, active characters within its AoE will regain HP at set intervals. Based on
it's like a region.
This effect lasts for a limited duration.
Go get him, Uegwe!
Go get him, Uegwe!
Per the
She's so cute.
instructions of a certain Adeptus, Yaoyao casts her elemental burst in emergencies to unleash Uegwe's full potential, dealing dendro damage to nearby enemies and entering the Adeptal Legacy state. In this state, The White Jade Radish's healing and damage effects are modified to their elemental burst variants. Exploding radishes now heal all nearby party members, and the dendro damage that they deal is treated as elemental burst damage.
Oh, okay.
Yaoyao's movement speed and dendro resistance are increased while in the Adepta Legacy state. Also, Yaoyao will summon Yuegui jumping mode at intervals until the maximum of 3 instances has been reached. Jumping mode Yuegui behaves in the same way as the throwing mode Yuegui produced by Yaoyao's
Look at her just hop around. Oh my god.
The Adepta Legacy state will end when Yaoyao leaves the field, and all instances of Yuegui jumping mode will be cleared when the state ends. In the eyes of a child, stars shining in the night may seem like little white fruits scattered across the sky.
Those little rabbits are cracking me up.
Scatter, when Yaoyao is running, sprinting, or jumping in the Adepta Legacy state, she will constantly throw white jade radishes at nearby enemies. Only 1 white jade radish can be produced in this way within a set duration.
Alright.
Radishes may not be a miracle cure, but they are always a healthy option. Well, I'm no expert, but Yaoyao will assure you that this is the case. In battle, Yuegui is Yaoyao's trusty helper, providing
so
flexible
cute.
support to the team depending on the situation.
I need a plushie.
Yaoyao's elemental skill summons Yuegui throwing mode to heal her teammates or assist them on the offensive as necessary. When
So a
energy
healer,
is
good
full,
healer.
Yaoyao unleashes Yuegui's full potential, dealing dendro damage to enemies and entering the Adepta Legacy state. In this state, Yaoyao summons Yuegui jumping mode, generating more white jade radishes to help get her teammates out of a tight spot.
Dude, this game is just crazy.
I am a self-confessed pessimist and refuse to believe that all children have hearts of gold.
Don't you say she
But
doesn't, because I
Yaoyao
know she
certainly
does.
Turned out well.
I was about to
Pure,
say.
innocent and compassionate, she never fails to extend a helping hand to anyone in need.
I can't even with Yaoyao.
Fortunately for her, helping those around her is well within her abilities. She hasn't experienced many setbacks in her life so far. And given her
Yaoyao.
positive attitude and the care and support from her Adepti guardians, it is
That's so
unlikely
cute.
that any setback could ever pull her down. Humans may have their weaknesses, but that doesn't mean that they are easily broken.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun one. Like, she just looks like she's really fun to use. Do you know what I mean? Like, great healer. I mean, 4-star, right? 4-star character, whatever. But if you're looking for a healer, she'd still be good. She still would be good. She has like a region effect if you unlock her talents. And that's crazy. She's so freaking cute, man.
Anyone who wanders the world will tell you that there's nothing like a dependable travel companion to make the journey easier and safer. Especially if it's someone like Dehya, a mercenary from Sumeru. Though she may see herself as just one among many, she is no ordinary mercenary. Her sharp mind, bravery, and honesty are rare qualities that truly make her a rose among thorns.
Hi.
Got a job for me?
Yep. Yes,
Raised
I
among
do.
mercenaries, Dehya has a wealth of experience under her belt and outstanding combat capabilities. She effortlessly combines swordsmanship, hand-to-hand combat, and the power of her pyrovision in battle, as she skillfully completes an eclectic range of jobs while keeping her client protected.
She is
By choosing
gorgeous.
the right moment to act, risks can be avoided and tasks completed more efficiently. Placing Dehya in your party increases the movement speed of your own party members between the daytime hours of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
So just
This
move a little
talent
faster.
does not take effect in domains, trounce domains, or the spiral abyss. Dehya's normal attack uses both her claymore and her fists to combo up to 4 strikes that deal physical damage to enemies. Using her charged attack, Dehya drains stamina over time to perform continuous rapid slashes, finishing with an especially powerful slash. Dehya's elemental skill has different effects depending on the present combat situation. When there is no fiery sanctum field created by Dehya herself currently present in combat, her elemental skill will cast Indomitable Flame, dealing AoE pyro damage, and creating a Fiery Sanctum field. If a Fiery Sanctum field created by Dehya is currently present in combat, her elemental skill will unleash Ranging Flame, which performs a leaping attack that deals AoE pyro damage, before recreating the Fiery Sanctum field at her new position.
That's cool.
Created in this way will inherit the remaining duration of the previous field. Ranging Flame can be used only once within a single Fiery Sanctum field's duration. When an enemy within a Fiery Sanctum field takes damage, the field will unleash a coordinated attack, dealing AoE pyro damage to them based on Dehya's attack and max HP. This effect
Okay, so attack and HP is important for her.
Active characters
her skill will be super useful.
Field gain increased resistance to interruption. When characters in the field take damage, a portion of that damage will be redirected into Redmane's blood. Dehya will then take this damage after a time. When the redirected damage stored by Redmane's blood reaches or exceeds a certain percentage of Dehya's max HP, no further damage will be redirected. Only one Fiery Sanctum, created by Dehya herself, can exist at a time. After unlocking the talent Stalwart and True, when her HP falls below a certain amount, Dehya recovers a percentage of her max HP.
Ooh, so she has like an automatic healing type thing?
HP at regular intervals for a set duration. This effect can be triggered once per set time period.
You're dead meat!
Ooh, you tell him, Dehya.
When Dehya casts her elemental burst, she unleashes her burning rage, casts her unwieldy blade aside, and enters the blazing lioness state, increasing her resistance to interruption. In this state, Dehya automatically unleashes a series of Flame-Mane's fists, dealing pyro damage. When the duration ends, she executes an incineration drive, dealing AoE pyro damage. All damage dealt by Flame-Mane's fists and incineration drive is based on Dehya's attack and max HP.
Okay, also, attack and max HP is super important. Got it.
Unable to use her elemental skill or perform normal, charged, or plunging attacks. Her normal attack and elemental skill will be replaced by Roaring Barrage. Using Roaring Barrage shortly after each Flame-Mane's fist will increase the attack speed of the next Flame-Mane's fist.
Okay.
If a Fiery Sanctum field created by Dehya's own elemental skill exists when she unleashes her elemental burst, Dehya will retrieve it, then recreate the field once Blazing Lioness's duration expires. The recreated field will inherit the remaining duration of the retrieved field. After unlocking the talent Unstinting Succor, for a short period after Dehya retrieves a Fiery Sanctum field using Molten Inferno Ranging Flame or Leonine Bite, she will take decreased damage when absorbing damage from Redmane's blood. This
I feel like
can be triggered
if I had Dehya as a character, I'd have to go back and watch this one again.
For a short period after Dehya unleashes Molten Inferno Indomitable Flame, she will grant all party members the Gold Forged Form state. This state will further increase characters' resistance to interruption when they are within a Fiery Sanctum field. This state can be triggered once per set time period. Although her reputation as the Flame Mane has spread far and wide, Dehya has never aspired to fame. Rather, her focus is on consistently completing each job entrusted to her and on protecting those around her.
Dude, she's
Dehya's
beautiful, man.
Strategy is centered around her elemental skill. She starts by using it to create a Fiery Sanctum. Which assists teammates in combat by redirecting damage away from them and providing coordinated attacks. At an opportune moment, she uses Ranging Flame to deal another bout of AoE pyro damage to enemies. When energy is full, Dehya unleashes her elemental burst and enters the Blazing Lioness state. In this state, she uses Roaring Barrage to increase the attack speed of Flame-Mane's fist, before finishing with an incineration.
Get out of my way!
Overpowering her foes with her Flaming Lioness claws.
But I feel like her skill is really the only thing I would
commissions is a mercenary's bread and butter.
Use her for.
The commissions undertaken by mercenaries differ from those handled by adventurers. Mercenary commissions are more commercial in nature, and the tasks involved are more varied. Many criminals, heroes, and other larger-than-life figures emerge from this trade as the euphoria of strength and success goes to their heads. But not so with Dehya, who knows that delusions of grandeur only make surviving in the treacherous mercenary world all the more difficult. As someone who
Ooh.
began life in the desert, Dehya has been confronted with issues of belief and forced to make difficult decisions on many occasions. She may wear a stern gaze, but she treats others with fairness and generosity. I would even say that she, of all mercenaries, is a pioneer of living a genuine life, attuned to the realities of the world around her.
So she's tough, but has a soft side. Dehya, that one was really good. But like I said, I feel like I would only use her just for her skill. She's a gorgeous character, and I can't wait to meet her and learn more about her. Her demo and her teaser were two completely different sides of the spectrum. Her demo was very tough and showed her as a butt kicker, and then her teaser showed her as a kind person. So I'm really excited to learn more about her and see her tough side and her soft side, and just figure out what's going on with her. But that was really, really good. I probably wouldn't use her very much though.
It was good news for the Knights of Favonius when frontline surveyor Mika returned from the expedition. Not only did he come bearing news of his team's well-being.
Hang on, I had to sneeze. Sorry about that. My fault. I'm so sorry. I could feel it coming as soon as I pushed play, and I was like, will it hold off or no? Sorry. Thank you for the bless you. Thank you. I haven't used Mika since getting him. All right.
It was good news for the Knights of Favonius when frontline surveyor Mika returned from the expedition. Not only did he come bearing news of his team's well-being, but his presence brings everyone a general sense of security. After all,
Mika!
it's always good
I do
to
like
have
his
an efficient
outfit.
map maker on hand, just in case a certain someone blows another mountaintop or ancient ruin into oblivion.
You're talking about Klee, aren't you?
All right.
Mika, hi.
Everything's ready.
As the reconnaissance company's frontline surveyor, Mika's primary duties are pathfinding and surveying, and he also has a hand in logistics. A keen observer and a cautious operator, Mika keeps one eye on the enemy's weak points and the other on his teammates' health during battle. By marking useful resources on a map, a platoon can be ready to resupply at any time. When Mika is in the party, the location of items unique to Mondstadt will appear on your minimap, making it easier to gather resources.
That's useful.
Mika's normal attack can combo up to 5 strikes, alternating between the crossbow and polearm, dealing physical damage. Using his charged attack, Mika consumes a certain amount of stamina to lunge forward, dealing physical damage to enemies along the way.
Similar to others.
Tap Mika's elemental skill to fire a Flow Frost arrow, which pierces through opponents and deals cryo damage to enemies it hits. Hold the elemental skill button and Mika takes aim at an enemy, then fires a Rhyme Star Flare at them, dealing cryo damage. After impact, the Rhyme Star Flare will rise, explode, then fire Rhyme Star shards at a maximum of 3 other enemies, dealing cryo damage. Additionally, Mika's elemental skill grants the Soul Wind status to nearby party members.
There's Wander.
Active party members with the Soul Wind status benefit from increased attack speed.
Let's keep going, team.
So more support.
Mika's elemental burst draws courage from the Knights of Favonius' prayers to spur on his teammates, restoring health to all nearby party members based on his max HP, and granting them the Eagle Plume status. When an active character with the Eagle Plume status strikes an enemy with a normal attack, Mika heals them by an amount based on his max HP.
Ooh, okay.
Characters can
but you gotta use normal attacks.
In this manner once per set time period.
I guess you can't use any other attacks. You'd have to use normal attacks to get healed.
Lay of the land confers a huge advantage for comrades in battle. After unlocking the talent Suppressive Barrage, the Soul Wind status from Mika's elemental skill has a chance to grant the Detector buff, which increases physical damage dealt by the active character.
Okay.
When Mika's Flow Frost arrow hits more than one enemy, 1 stack of detection is gained per additional enemy hit. A detection stack is also gained when a Rhyme Star shard hits an enemy. Only 1 stack can be gained per shard. Soul Wind's Detector buff has a maximum of 3 stacks. If Mika's elemental skill is used again while Soul Wind and Detector are still active, these effects are cleared. After unlocking the talent Topographical Mapping, an active character under the effects of both the Eagle Plume and Soul Wind statuses will gain 1 stack of Detector upon landing a crit hit on an enemy.
Alright.
Only 1 Detector stack can be gained in this way during a single instance of Soul Wind. Additionally, the maximum number of Soul Wind's detection stacks is increased by 1. Mika's new
I feel like I would just use him
in live combat
for
has
his,
molded him into
like,
someone his
that
team can
one
depend
simple
on.
healing ability.
In battle, Mika uses his elemental skill to unleash either a Flow Frost arrow or Rhyme Star flare, dealing cryo damage to enemies and providing the Soul Wind status to teammates. Once active, Soul Wind's Detector buff helps his teammates to rise to the challenges of the battlefield. When energy is full, Mika unleashes his Elemental Burst to provide an extra level of support to all his nearby teammates, restoring their HP while also granting them the Eagle Plume status. By healing his teammates via Eagle Plume as they dish out their normal attacks, Mika ensures that they complete their mission and are patched up and ready for the next.
But you'd have to use normal attacks to even get healed. You can't use anything else.
One must have a clear view of the way ahead. This may sound trivial, yet how many walk blindly down their paths? Mika may not excel at speaking, but nothing escapes his sights. As he matures and grows in resolve, he will develop great potential to lead others. Still, despite his remarkable talent, Mika could find his ability to command the respect of others undermined by his lack of self-confidence. But who knows what the future will bring? Maybe there really will come a day when Mika finally musters the courage to refuse the menial tasks that Varka habitually foists off onto him.
I don't know. I just felt like that one was very meh. Do you know what I mean? Like, nothing against Mika or nothing like that, but I just felt like it was very meh. I mean, I have Mika as a character, and it just seems like I probably would very, very, very rarely use him. Cute character. I love his outfit, but really, I feel like there's just not much to him, to be honest. I mean, if you use Mika and you like Mika, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That is your opinion. I'm just giving my opinion. I just feel like there just wasn't really much to that. Baizhu.
It's said that chronic illness makes a medical expert out of the patient. This would seem to ring true for Baizhu, a skilled doctor of weak constitution, but delves a little deeper, and one is left questioning the true relationship between Dr. Baizhu's ailments and expertise.
I like his
Time for a house call.
Hi, Baizhu. How are you doing?
To heal the sick is a doctor's lifelong calling. Baizhu constantly monitors the well-being of those around him, treating ailments when the earliest symptoms arise. His dendro vision enables him to protect his teammates and provide a range of treatments to suit any scenario.
Healer,
Baizhu's
shielder?
familiarity with the medicinal effects of common herbs is useful knowledge during medical emergencies in the wild. When
He's a
Baizhu is in
doctor.
the party, interacting with certain harvestable items will heal the active character, meaning
that's
more
cool.
time spent adventuring and less spent recovering.
That's really cool.
Baizhu's normal attack can perform up to 4 frontal strikes that deal dendro damage.
He's so smooth.
His charged attack consumes a set amount of stamina to deal AoE dendro damage in front of him after a short casting time. Upon casting his elemental skill, Baizhu sends a gossamer sprite to cruise and attack nearby enemies, dealing dendro damage.
Okay.
After it performs a certain number of attacks, or if there are no enemies nearby, the sprite will return. Upon its return, the sprite heals all nearby party members based on Baizhu's max HP.
Ooh!
After unlocking the talent 5 Fortunes Forever, Baizhu's abilities are enhanced in different ways depending on the active character's current HP. If their HP is less than a certain percentage, Baizhu's healing bonus is increased. If their HP is equal to or more than a certain percentage, Baizhu's dendro damage bonus is increased.
Ah, that's really
Taking a turn
good.
for the better.
that it decides
When
that.
Baizhu casts his elemental burst, he enters the pulsing clarity state, creating a seamless shield that absorbs dendro damage with increased effectiveness.
He
While
does
the
shield.
pulsing clarity state is active, a new seamless shield is generated at regular intervals. While a character is under the protection of seamless shield, whenever the shield regenerates, expires, or is destroyed, the active character is healed based on Baizhu's max HP.
Dude, great healer.
At the same time, spirit veins are unleashed, which attack enemies, dealing dendro damage.
Man, he's got a lot.
Medicine is a vast and complex discipline whose methods range from the strictly therapeutic to the thoroughly transformative. After unlocking the talent All Things Are of the Earth, when a character is healed by Baizhu's Seamless Shield, they will gain the Year of Verdant Favor effect, which increases damage dealt by burning, bloom, hyperbloom, burgeon, spread, and aggravate reactions triggered by that character. The size of the damage boost depends on the elemental reaction, and scales off of Baizhu's max HP up to a certain limit. This effect lasts for a limited duration. Baizhu avoids life and death battles like the plague and does his utmost to stop comrades from becoming
So he can shield and heal at the same time?
In battle, Baizhu casts his elemental skill, sending out a Gossamer Sprite to deal dendro damage to enemies and heal all nearby party members upon its return. When energy is full, Baizhu enters the pulsing clarity state by providing protection and healing for his teammates with his seamless shield, and unleashing spirit veins to deal dendro damage.
You would never
to
die!
enemies. Baizhu gives his team healthy odds of finishing the battle in one piece.
Shielding and healing at the same time.
Humans
Bro, Baizhu!
People chase after immortality for countless reasons, most of them selfish in nature. But Baizhu defies the norm. I know of no one else
I really love the way he looks.
Life as a means to endure limitless suffering.
The whole outfit is just...
Perhaps this stubborn defiance is necessary to practice medicine. What doctor can expect to bring patients back from the brink who does not cling to the hope of life despite impossible odds? However sheer his determination, the future is always uncertain. But surely anyone bold enough to shoulder responsibility for the lives and deaths of others deserves reverence and respect.
Dude, I just really love those calm and collected characters. A healer and a shielder at the same freaking time? What? You would never die. Never die. Never. 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 Baizhu. Bro, he's really good. Wow. I definitely want to get him.
When Dory was planning to build her residence, she at first envisaged a cozy luxury home in a quiet spot far from the city, with ample space to house her countless possessions. But with the aid of renowned architect Kaveh, the palace of Alcazar-Zareh has ended up as an iconic landmark.
It's super pretty.
Far and wide.
Can I live there?
Dory occasionally grumbles about this unexpected twist of fate. But in Kaveh's life, unintended consequences like these are all.
Kaveh, how are you?
Is that the client? Wait. Oh, it's you.
It's me, Kaveh. It's good to see you.
Kaveh
How you doing?
is rarely without his assistant, Marak, a multifunctional tool that runs on ancient technology.
Also,
as
it's
well
not
as
a suitcase.
assisting him with routine mapping work, Marak also helps Kaveh deal with all manner of unforeseen incidents. When trying to strike a balance between aesthetics and practicality, budgeting is an essential skill. When Kaveh crafts landscape, building, and courtyard-type furnishings, some materials are refunded, ensuring efficient utilization. Kaveh's normal attack uses Marak to combo up to 4 strikes, dealing physical damage to enemies. His charged attack consumes stamina over time to perform continuous rapid slashes, finishing with
that's
an
pretty
especially
sick.
Powerful slash.
He's just standing there and the sword is just going around him.
His elemental skill, Kaveh attacks using Marak's mapping ability, performing a radial scan that deals AoE dendro damage and causes all dendro cores in range to burst.
Okay.
After unlocking the talent An Architect's Undertaking, when Kaveh is hit by dendro cores damage, including burgeon and hyperbloom damage, he will restore HP based on his elemental mastery. This
So
effect
you would
can be
definitely need
triggered
another Dendro
once
character
per
with you
set
if you have
time.
Kaveh on your team.
Breaking new ground!
Kaveh's elemental burst unleashes the full power of Marak, which maps out a cubic area, dealing AoE Dendro damage to all enemies within it, and causing all Dendro cores in range to burst.
Okay.
For a set duration, it also enhances Kaveh's combat capabilities by increasing his resistance to interruption, expanding his normal, charged, and plunging attack range, and converting his attacks into Dendro damage that cannot be overridden. Additionally, all Dendro cores created by your own party members' bloom reactions will deal additional damage when they burst. These effects will be cleared once Kaveh leaves the field.
Yeah, I definitely need more
The
Dendro
mind of
on
an
your team with
artist
him.
is always busily conjuring up strange and wondrous ideas, never stopping even in the heat of battle. After unlocking the talent
He's a good-looking
of
dude.
craftsman's curious conceptions, during the period of Kaveh's elemental burst, after Kaveh strikes an opponent with a normal, charged, or plunging attack, his elemental mastery will be increased. This effect can be triggered once per set time period, and is stackable up to a limit. When the elemental burst duration expires, these effects are cleared. The path of the idealist is rarely a smooth one.
I just
Even
love the
kindest
sword
of
just going
souls
around
must
him and
find
he's
the
not doing
strength to
anything.
confront the obstacles ahead.
He's just walking.
In battle, Kaveh makes deft use of his elemental skill. He scans for all Dendro cores in a certain range, instantly causing them to burst and deal Dendro damage to enemies.
Okay.
When energy is full, Kaveh uses Marak at full power, dealing Dendro damage to enemies and enhancing his personal combat capabilities for a period of time. Kaveh continues to deal Dendro damage with his normal attack and elemental skill, while boosting damage dealt by bursting Dendro cores, finally tackling the problems in his life once and for all.
That's
Many
insane.
struggle to understand how Kaveh, despite
He looks
his
like he's
academic brilliance,
fun to play with.
has wound
You know
up
what I mean?
leading a life fraught
Just
with
fun.
disappointments. The objective truth is that Kaveh is his own worst enemy and brings most of his woes upon himself. And yet, I find myself reluctant to be too critical of him.
I want to learn more
After
about
all,
him.
Surely
For sure.
anyone with a heart would be moved after witnessing Kaveh stand up for what he believes in.
Which is what? We don't know. We don't know. Kaveh. Dendro. Yeah, you definitely would need another Dendro character with him. I would assume that was a fun one. That was fun. That one was really, he's a good looking dude. He's a good looking guy. Not gonna lie.
One courier from Inazuma's Komaniya Express stands head and shoulders above the rest. Instantly
Inazuma, we just got
recognizable from her
there.
twin tails and paw pads. She is well known for her
She has
professionalism
two tails?
and excellent customer service. But nothing speaks to her popularity like her loyal customers, who, impressed by her integrity and can-do attitude, ask for her by name whenever they need an express delivery.
Oh yeah, she's the FedEx girl, right?
Anything you need to deliver?
Kirara. Yeah, she was the one that was FedEx,
Gold-level
Amazon,
courier
UPS.
Kirara has more than earned her reputation. Be it her delivery speed or package security, she provides a first-rate service by every measure. With her Dendro vision on hand,
Cat in a
Kirara
box.
clears all roadblocks to progress and delivers every order safely and swiftly. Even when in human
got really
form,
pretty eyes.
Kirara's feline hunting instinct never sleeps. When Kirara is in the party, animals who produce foul, raw meat, or chilled meat will not be startled as easily when your party members approach them.
Hunting.
Kirara's normal
Good
attack
for hunting.
can combo up to 4 sword strikes, dealing physical damage to enemies. Using her charged attack, Kirara consumes a set amount of stamina to perform.
I was gonna say, I didn't see her
frontal
use a sword.
slashes
Oh,
with
she
her
used a sword
claws,
on a
dealing
what?
physical damage. Tapping
Is she
Kirara's
literally doing
elemental
the
skill
using her
sends
hands
pouncing
like
forth
this
like a
as a
cat from
cat?
the underbrush to deliver a tail-flicking flying kick.
She
dealing
is.
AoE Dendro
What?
damage to enemies. At the same time, Kirara gains a shield of safe transport that absorbs Dendro damage with increased effectiveness, And she
Just
also
dendro
becomes
damage, though?
affected with dendro for a short time. The Shield of Safe Transport's damage absorption scales off of Kirara's max HP, not exceeding a certain percentage of her max HP. Any remaining damage absorption on a Shield of Safe Transport will be transferred to a new shield when created, and the duration will also be reset. Hold her elemental skill, and Kirara psychs herself up for a same-day delivery. She deploys a Shield of Safe Transport identical to the shield produced by tapping the skill.
What?
And also enters the urgent Neko parcel state, curling up into a special express delivery box to move and fight at a faster pace. While in this state, Kirara will deal dendro damage to enemies she runs into. This effect can be triggered once per set time period for each enemy. When the duration ends or the skill is used again,
she turns into a cat in a box?
Executes a flip claw strike, which deals AoE dendro damage and is more powerful than the attack performed by tapping the skill. The urgent Neko parcel state also lends Kirara an advantage when adventuring in the wild. While in this state,
is she
her
meowing?
movement speed, climbing
my God.
and jumping
This is
ability
great.
are all increased, though her stamina
Well,
consumption
she's a cat. She ought to be able to climb wherever in the hell she wants.
Sprinting or actively canceling climbing will end the state early. The urgent Neko parcel state lasts for a limited duration and enters a cooldown when it ends. The longer that the state was active, the longer the cooldown time will be. After unlocking the talent Bewitching Betwitching Tales, when Kirara enters the urgent Neko parcel state using her elemental skill, each collision with an enemy will grant her a stack of reinforced packaging. This effect can be triggered once per set time period for each enemy, and can be stacked up to a maximum of 3 times. When the
Some of the names of these skills just crack me up. Reinforced packaging. That's great. I see. Reinforced.
For Kirara. The damage absorption of shields created in this way is based on that of her elemental skill's shield. If Kirara is already protected by a Shield of Safe Transport created by her elemental skill, the shield duration will reset, and any remaining damage absorption will carry over.
Service with a smile!
Kirara uses her elemental burst to punish would-be package thieves, attacking with a special delivery package that deals AoE dendro damage. After the special delivery package explodes, it will split into numerous catgrass cardamoms, which explode and deal AoE dendro damage on contact with an enemy, or after a period of time.
Okay.
Just as a cat's eyes stay sharp in the dark,
again, she just looks like she would be really fun to play.
After unlocking the talent's
really fun to play
variants, Kirara's elemental skill and elemental burst damage are increased based on her max HP. In her Nekomata form, Kirara possesses fearsome yokai powers. However, she prefers to use her abilities to protect her customers' parcels from theft or damage.
Well, I want her to be my delivery driver, like seriously.
Is the Shield of Safe Transport she creates with her elemental skill.
Things don't get to me fast enough
she can also
from Amazon.
To her urgent Neko parcel state and dart around the battlefield as the situation demands, while keeping her allies safe.
Dude, I want to be a cat that just runs over everything.
Drops off a special delivery package, which deals AoE dendro damage to enemies before splitting into catgrass cardamoms.
That is super cool.
Turning package thieves into damaged goods.
Dude, she just looks like she's just fun. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's
very satisfying work.
what they were kind of going for.
Kirara, every package safely delivered to a satisfied customer is a huge accomplishment, and a job well done always leaves her in a wonderful mood.
She's really pretty, really cute.
Of course, not all packages are fortunate enough to make it into the hands of the customers waiting for them. But I admire Kirara's persistence and patience as she treks far and wide with her unwieldy parcels in hand, determined to see each and every journey through to the end. Perhaps this is the way things should be. After all, given enough time, is there any price too great to pay in order to achieve your goals?
God, this game is just beautiful. I can't even. Kirara. Yeah, I like that. That one was fun. That one was fun. And I feel like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from her. Like, I would just have a blast playing with her. You know what I mean? It would just be fun to just run around as a cat and, you know, jump up on things and do all kinds of stuff with her. She just looks like she is just a crap ton of fun to play with.
Magic is a kind of real illusion, and those few who excel at making illusions that shock and amaze will become renowned among magicians. From the performance posters adorning the opera houses of Fontaine to the hearty recommendations of hotel concierges and conversations with citizens on the streets, it isn't difficult to guess who the title of most popular magician belongs to.
I want that hat.
Traveling magic troupe.
What's up, Lyney?
Magic
Sticking your
is
tongue
not
out at me.
simply a stage performance for Lyney, for the tricks of the trade have become a part of his everyday life. If you were to liken the battlefield to a stage, Lyney's bow and arrows would be his props, while the talented magician himself creates surprises for anyone watching the show. Those who are keen observers are more familiar with their own blind spots.
Yeah, his hat's pretty
When
sick.
Lyney is in the party, the
love it.
location of items unique to Fontaine will appear on your minimap, making it easier to
That's
gather
useful.
resources.
Especially if you're new to Fontaine and you have him.
Lyney's normal attack can combo up to 4 consecutive shots, dealing physical damage. With a charged attack, Lyney executes a more precise aimed shot that deals increased damage. The shot has different effects depending on how long the charging lasts.
Okay.
At charge level 1, Lyney fires off a pyro-infused arrow that deals pyro damage. At charge level 2, Lyney fires off a prop arrow that deals pyro damage.
What the hell is that?
A Grinmalkin hat will be summoned. Grinmalkin hats can taunt nearby opponents, causing them to attack them. Each opponent can only be taunted periodically. When a Grinmalkin hat is destroyed, or its duration expires, it will fire off a pyrotechnic strike at a nearby opponent, dealing pyro damage. Only one Grinmalkin hat can exist at once. It inherits HP in proportion to Lyney's maximum HP.
Okay.
In addition, if Lyney's
The taunting
HP
thing is really
higher
cool.
than a certain threshold when he fires a prop arrow, Lyney will consume a portion of his own HP to obtain 1 prop surplus stack. The number of stacks is limited, and all stacks will be removed once Lyney stays out of combat for too long. Lyney's HP cannot fall below a certain threshold in this way. After unlocking the talent Perilous Performance, if Lyney consumes HP by firing off a prop arrow, the Grinmalkin hat will restore a certain amount of elemental energy after it strikes an enemy, and will gain increased damage based on its attack.
That's
Prop
cool.
arrows periodically call down Spirit Breath Thorns upon the location they hit, dealing Numa-aligned pyro damage.
That's big with the hat thing and that thing. With the taunting and
Using his elemental skill, Lyney does a flourish with his hat, unleashing a firework surprise when a Grinmalkin hat created by Lyney is on the field. The fireworks will cause it to explode violently, dealing AoE pyro damage equivalent to a pyrotechnic strike. Damage dealt by the Grinmalkin hat in this way is considered charged attack damage. When Lyney uses his elemental skill, all prop surplus stacks will be cleared, dealing AoE pyro damage to opponents in front of him. Damage will be increased based on the number of stacks cleared.
He just looks like he's really fun to play too.
Based on his max HP.
Let's get this show on the road.
Using his elemental burst, Lyney unleashes his magic, turning into a fast-moving Grinmalkin cat. This is not to be confused with the Grinmalkin hat. They're 2 different props.
So he turns into
when the Grinmalkin cat gets close to opponents, it will call down flames upon them, dealing up to 1 instance of pyro damage to each opponent. When the duration ends, Lyney will dismiss the Grinmalkin cat and ignite magnificent fireworks that deal AoE pyro damage. Summon a
I feel like his charged attack and his skill is the most beneficial thing for him.
Prematurely. A magnificent performance always leaves the audience yearning for an encore. If the applause is rapturous enough, the magician might even improvise a few new tricks on the spot. After unlocking the talent Conclusive Ovation, Lyney deals increased damage to opponents affected by pyro.
Okay.
In addition, each pyro party member other than Lyney will increase this damage bonus. The damage increase that can be gained obtained in this way has a maximum limit.
So you definitely want to have another pyro character if he's in your party.
Only an actor who has mastered their skills and who can instantly adapt is worthy of being a maestro of magic, and Lyney is fully deserving of the title. In battle, prop arrows are Lyney's primary source of damage. By continually firing prop arrows, not only can Lyney summon Grin Malkin hats and fire off pyrotechnic strikes, he can
That's
also
what I would
gain
use him
prop
for.
surplus stacks.
That's,
By
yep.
using his elemental skill to clear stacks at the right time, Lyney
That's
can
what I would
deal
do.
even more damage to enemies.
I feel like that
When
would be
energy
his
is full, Lyney
main
can transform
thing.
into a Grin Malkin cat, moving agilely about the battlefield, getting close to enemies, and delivering a magnificent final performance under a shower of pyrotechnic magic.
All right,
No
okay.
one wishes to be tricked.
Lenny. He looks like he's
But
fun.
people still
You know, he
willingly
looks like
take
another
their
character that's really
seats
fun to play.
Watch a magic show whose purpose is to deliberately deceive. Is it to lose themselves in a splendorous illusion, even for a short while, or is it to see through the illusions and trickery? Either way, we need not pry too deeply.
We have a long way to go
Regardless
before we
of
get to
how real the
Fontaine.
magic seems, it is but a performance.
Look at the dog.
Just consider it a rare piece of entertainment in a world of fickle fate. Is that not enough?
Lenny, dude, he looks like he's a lot of fun to play with too. And like I said, I would use his charge attacks and his skills more than anything. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's really awesome that he could do that. The taunting thing is crazy, and I love that. So I would love to pull him as a character. He'd be fun, really fun to play.
Lynette likes to dub herself the multifunction magic assistant, resulting in a common misconception.
Now, I
that she
do
represents
have
a new
Lynette.
frontier in Fontaine's technology. But everyone who sets out to prove the theory that she's a humanoid mecha comes to the same conclusion. Perhaps
She's
you shouldn't
pretty.
take everything a magician says on stage literally.
Is it time for a magic
Lynette.
show?
Yes, Lynette, it is. I have her,
Although an
but I haven't
exceptionally
used
keen
her.
perception isn't on the list of required skills for a magic assistant, it is what makes Lynette stand out from the crowd. With the help of her animo vision, she stealthily navigates different locations, gathering intelligence
That's
and solving
really freaking
problems
cool.
from the shadows.
That she can
I
like
heard
disappear.
that cats often give people the impression of being afraid of water. If that's the case, they should make full use of resources and complete any underwater tasks swiftly and safely. When Lynette is in the party, the locations of nearby revival orbs will be shown on the minimap. Underwater stamina and HP gained from touching the orbs will also be increased.
Okay, cool. So if you're
Lynette's
swimming
normal
around in
attack can
Fontaine,
combo up to 4 strikes, dealing physical damage to enemies. Using her charged attack, Lynette consumes a certain amount of stamina and performs 2 swift slashes to her front, dealing physical damage.
all right. She's fast too.
By tapping on her elemental skill, Lynette will swiftly use an Enigma Thrust, dealing animo
Dude, that
damage.
animation just looks
Holding the skill allows
crazy.
her to enter a high-speed pilfering shadow state and apply Shadow Sign to a nearby opponent. Lynette
Bro!
can control her movement direction during this state, and can end it prematurely by using this skill
You know what it
again.
reminds me of? It reminds me of Yellen.
When this high-speed
little bit.
state ends,
How she can
Lynette
do
will
that
unleash her
thing,
Enigma
that one
Thrust,
thing.
dealing animo damage. If there is an opponent with Shadow Sign applied to them nearby, Lynette will flash to them before using Enigma Thrust. A maximum of 1 opponent can have Shadow Sign at any one time. When this opponent gets
Okay.
too far from Lynette, the Shadow Sign will be cancelled.
So you don't want to get too far.
In addition, when the Enigma Thrust hits an opponent, it will restore Lynette's HP based on her max HP, and for some time afterwards, she will lose a certain amount of HP per second. At specific intervals, Lynette will unleash a surging blade when she uses Enigma Thrust, dealing Usia-aligned animo damage.
Usia.
Be amazed!
When Lynette casts
I
her
am
elemental
amazed, Lynette.
burst, she raises her mantle high, dealing AoE animo damage, using skillful sleight of hand to make a giant Bogglecat box appear. The
Taunt?
Bogglecat box taunts nearby opponents, attracting their attacks, and deals animo damage to nearby opponents at intervals.
Okay.
When the Bogglecat box comes into contact with Hydro, Pyro, Cryo, or Electro, it will gain the corresponding element and additionally fire vivid shots that will deal damage from that element at intervals.
That's
Elemental
cool.
absorption of this kind will only occur once during this ability's duration.
Like I said, I have her. Maybe I should use her at some point and just have some fun with her.
Correct. After the Bogglecat box summoned by Lynette's elemental burst performs elemental absorption, damage dealt by her elemental burst will increase. This effect will persist until the Bogglecat box's duration ends. On the stage, Lynette is Lyney's magic assistant, but when she's anywhere else, she uses her clever tricks to help other companions as well.
I can't wait to meet these two,
After unlocking
but we
the
have a long way to go yet.
sophisticated synergy, within a certain period after Lynette uses her elemental burst, her party member's attack will be increased based on the number of different elemental types in the party. The more elemental types there are, the greater the increase.
Oh, so you want different elements when you have her in a party.
Ever observant and supremely stealthy, Lynette is quick to
That's
adapt
good.
to the
That's
needs
big.
of the mission and the strengths of her teammates. In battle, Lynette uses her elemental skill to swiftly traverse the field, catching her opponents off guard with her Enigma
I think
thrust.
that's awesome.
When energy is full,
The Enigma
Lynette
thrust thing,
summons a
that's crazy.
Bogglecat box with a flick of her cloak. This creates ideal conditions for her teammates to work their magic with elemental reactions.
Yeah,
leaving
because they're
her
taunted.
enemies scratching their heads and wondering, how did she do that?
Dude, she looks like she's really fun to use and play
It's
with.
easy to avoid drawing attention.
I didn't
but
know
it
this
takes
about her.
Extraordinary talent to stay hidden under the spotlight. Quick movements and silent footsteps. Even if you keep your eyes peeled, it may very well be impossible
And she's
to track
cute.
the target.
She's super cute.
Oh, you think that was about Lynette? What if I was talking about a cat? I heard that
Oh.
Lynette is raising kittens at home. Perhaps even
Oh.
at this very moment, from a place you never thought to pay attention to, they're licking their fur and keeping a watchful gaze on your every move.
Oh, she's got cats watching us. Wow, that was really good. She looks like she's just fun to play with too. I really like that one. The whole shadowy thing is just crazy, sick, and it just looks amazing. Like, I feel like their animations are getting better and better with more versions that are coming out. Like the Lynette animations are great. The Lyney, I mean, other animations are really good too, but I feel like they're really stepping up their game on the animations for these characters. That was really good.
If you need someone to help you with underwater work, you'll surely hear mentions of Freminet. Though he's one of Fontaine's
Freminet,
best
sorry.
divers, he rarely shows his face. Those familiar with him would say that's because he spends most of his time beneath the waves. This makes
Is he
for
a fish?
quite an awkward situation. You see, any diver talented enough to swim down and find him for a job might as well do the job themselves.
Is he like a fish in water?
Though
Freminet.
Freminet
Hi.
lacks confidence, he's actually more adept at completing missions than he gives himself credit for. As long
You a
as
scuba
Pear is
diver?
by his side, Freminet will wield his sword to protect his home, no matter how powerful the enemies may be. Even before gaining his vision, to Freminet, diving had become a part of his everyday life. When Freminet is in the party, he will reduce
Swim
the
faster?
consumption rate of party members' aquatic
Oh.
stamina, making it easier to
Okay.
explore underwater. Freminet's normal
Useful.
attack can combo up to 4 strikes, dealing physical damage. His charged attack consumes stamina over time to perform continuous swirling attacks, finishing with an especially powerful slash.
Kick their booties there, Freminet.
Using his
Play more
elemental
user.
skill, Freminet performs an upward thrust that deals cryo damage and enters pair timer for a period. While pair timer is active, Freminet's normal attacks will cause the timer to increase the pressure level and release waves of frost that deal cryo damage.
What?
Damage from these waves will be considered elemental skill damage. In addition, while under the pair timer, Freminet's elemental skill will turn into Shattering Pressure.
Okay.
Shattering Pressure will execute different attacks based on pair timer's pressure level, and then cancel the
Wow,
timer.
so you really need to pay attention to like
At
the
level
timer.
0, Shattering Pressure will unleash a vertical cut that deals cryo damage. From levels 1 to 3, Shattering Pressure will unleash a vertical cut alongside Pair to deal cryo and physical damage. The damage dealt will scale based on pressure level.
All right.
At level 4, Freminet will borrow the power of a fully pressurized Pair to deal physical damage. At this time, Freminet's normal attacks will also be replaced by Shattering Pressure.
Ooh.
At specific intervals, after performing the upward thrust, a Spirit Breath Thorn upward thrust will also be created, dealing Numa-aligned cryo damage.
Commencing cleanup!
With his Elemental Burst, Freminet unleashes a wave of cold that deals AoE cryo damage, resets the cooldown of his elemental skill.
Why are you a cryo character if you swim, if you're a scuba diver?
In this mode, Freminet's interruption resistance will
Figured he'd be a hydro character.
His elemental skill cooldown is decreased, and the damage of its normal attack Frost Waves is increased.
All right.
In addition, while Pair Timer is also active, Freminet's normal attacks will give Pair 1 additional pressure stack. These
The
effects
timer.
will be canceled when Freminet
Gotta pay attention to the timer on with him.
After unlocking the talent Saturation Deep Dive, if Pair Timer has less than 4 levels of pressure, when Pressurized Flow Shattering Pressure is used, the cooldown of Pressurized Flow will be decreased. Freminet's efficiency at completing missions has gradually increased ever since he incorporated his
I want a
knowledge
little
of
plushy
machinery into
penguin.
combat. After unlocking the talent Parallel Condensers and triggering Shatter on an opponent, the damage of Pressurized Flow Shattering Pressure will be increased for a period of time.
I feel like this is one I'd have to go back and watch.
It's not so different from operating Clockwork Mecha. In
Just to
both cases,
make sure I
knowledge of general
understood.
principles and communication of orders are crucial to resolving difficult problems.
Because there's a lot going on with this
Freminet
one.
can easily adapt his combat style to the needs of the situation. With Pair by his side, Freminet can use his elemental skill to unleash shattering pressure on his opponents, dealing damage based on the pressure level of the Pair timer. When energy is full, Freminet can enter Subnautical Hunter mode, reducing the cooldown of his elemental skill and increasing the pressure accumulation rate of the Pair timer. This will boost his damage output and allow him to finish his mission in a reliable manner.
Yeah, I would definitely have to go back and watch this one again if I had Freminet.
Think for yourself.
For sure.
You
Oh, the little
realize that obeying
pupper!
orders is no easy task. Freminet likely knows this as well, or he wouldn't have tried to seal away his emotions, performing his tasks like a clockwork mecha and diving into the deep sea to empty his mind. Even
This
so,
little crab.
Freminet is no mindless machine, and the people and things around him will continue to pull him back out of the sea. Perhaps one day, he will finally realize that orders are not delicious dishes presented to him on a silver platter, but rather frozen walls that are obstructing him from completing his final
All right,
metamorphosis.
Freminet. That was just a lot to take in with him. And like I said, I feel like I would definitely have to go back and watch this. If I had him as a character and wanted to use him, I would have to go back and watch this again, just so I can understand everything that he's got going on. Because that was a lot. That is a lot.
In Fontaine, where the world's waters converge, the stage blurs the line between drama
Fontaine
and
is so
reality.
pretty.
But high above the histrionics stands a solemn figure whose demeanor seems at odds with the spectacle below.
There he is.
Neuvillette is extremely
Daddy
adept at
Neuvillette.
using hydro. Water itself seems to be at his beck and call. Surely this power is the true source of his capacity for impartial judgment. Despite having neither a vision nor any professional training, Neuvillette's diving skills are vastly superior to the ordinary person. If Neuvillette is in the party, underwater sprint speed is increased for your own party members.
Ooh. Okay.
Neuvillette's normal attack calls forth the waves with his cane, performing up to 3 strikes that deal hydro damage.
He just
While
looks so
charging,
chill and
Neuvillette's
confident. I
charged
love
attack
him.
slowly gathers the power of the source water to form a seal of arbitration. He can move freely and change direction while the seal is formed.
That right there is sick.
If he stops charging before the seal is fully formed, Neuvillette consumes a set amount of stamina to perform a charged attack, shooting a powerful blast of water that deals
Like, that's
AoE
crazy that he can just float
If
around.
the seal is fully formed when charging stops, he performs a charged attack, Equitable Judgment, instead, releasing a surging
what?
torrent that continuously deals AoE hydro damage to
That's
enemies in a straight line
crazy.
in front of him. Charged attack Equitable Judgment does not consume stamina and lasts for a set period. If his HP is
I can't wait to build him and just have fun with him.
He continuously consumes HP. After unlocking the talent Heir to the Ancient Sea's Authority, when a party member triggers a Vaporize, Frozen, Electrocharge, Bloom, Hydro Swirl, or a Hydrocrystallize reaction on an enemy, Neuvillette gains the Past Draconic Glories effect for a period of time, increasing the damage dealt by Equitable Judgment. He can have up to 3
That's
stacks of
the
Past
floating
Draconic
thing just
Glories,
gets me
and
every
stacks
time.
created by each kind of elemental
Oh
reaction
my god!
exist independently.
It's like a water laser beam.
Neuvillette's elemental skill calls down a raging waterfall that deals AoE hydro damage to enemies in front of him, based on his own max HP. After striking an enemy, the skill generates 3 source water droplets near the enemy. While he is charging his charged attack, he absorbs source water droplets within a certain radius. Each source water droplet absorbed restores HP and reduces the time required for the seal to fully form.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
At certain intervals, after the waterfall summoned by his elemental skill has descended, a Spirit Breath Thorn appears that pierces enemies, dealing Numa-aligned hydro damage.
Be sanctified.
Ooh.
Using his elemental burst, Neuvillette unleashes rupturing waves that deal AoE hydro damage based on his own max HP. After a short interval, 2 waterfalls descend that deal hydro damage in a smaller area and create several source water droplets within a given radius.
That's that I just can't get over that, man.
Life is governed by its own
That's
natural law,
nuts.
and none who defy it will escape arbitration. After unlocking the talent Discipline of the Supreme Arbitration, Neuvillette receives a hydro damage bonus based on the amount of his current HP that exceeds a certain percentage. The size of the damage bonus gained in this way has a limit. As the Udex, Neuvillette's
I can't wait to build him. I have him, but I haven't touched him.
The innocent need not fear, but the guilty will be tried for their transgressions.
It's only because I haven't even gotten close to
Fully
Fontaine
charged
yet.
Attacks using Seals of Arbitration are Neuvillette's primary mode of attack. Source water droplets generated by his elemental skill allow Neuvillette to quickly charge his charged attack Equitable Judgment and deal hydro damage to the enemies ahead. When energy is
Dude.
full, Neuvillette calls down waterfalls, creating even more source water droplets.
Bro, that just looks sick. I can't
The
even.
ensuing torrential onslaught of the tides shall ensure triumph.
They really stepped up their game with
From
Neuvillette.
Neuvillette's position, every conflict in Tevat must
They
seem like
have
a comedy
set the bar.
acted upon a stage, fighting for territory that doesn't belong to them, singing the praises of overlords who imprison them, and committing sins that will long outlive them. Still, he does not seem to be an unfeeling spectator at all. In fact, he even tries to understand the causes behind this state of affairs. I rarely see such people, but lest you condemn me as ignorant or a loner for making such a statement, I should remind you that there is only one Udex of Fontaine in this world.
Neuvillette, dude, I can't wait to meet him as a character. Honestly, it's gonna be so much freaking fun when we get there. And luckily I pulled Neuvillette, so literally on like 4 pity or whatever it was. But I haven't built him at all. I haven't touched him. I haven't leveled him up, nothing like that. And it's just simply because we have a long way to go before we get to Fontaine. But once we get to Fontaine, I'm gonna start building him and having some fun with him. And he just looks like he is so OP and so much fun to play with. Holy crap. And that was the last one. That is the last of the Collected Miscellany series.